Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. So I have had this knife here on loan for many weeks. It's on loan from my buddy Mike. His Instagram is HoytArcher10. I'll put a link to his Instagram in the description box below. But Mike sent this one to me to check out. He knows I'm a fan of Les Voorhies' work. This is a Claymore model done in collaboration with the designer Faisal Yamin. And yeah, I've had a knife from Les before. It was the Jetstream. That was a collaboration with Tashi Barucha. And so Les has collaborated with some great designers, and he puts out some phenomenal work. So I'm going to show you guys this one in detail, I guess. I don't even have all the specs in front of me. I've got my scale and my calipers next to me, so perhaps we'll just kind of muddy through this one. But this one's done with some really nice materials. Obviously we have a sanmai blade here, beautifully etched, really nice piece of sanmai. And one of the cool things that I like about sanmai is that it's really hard. Well, you're never going to find a piece that has an identical pattern from side to side. So you kind of have two different looks on the blade, and I love the uniqueness. It creates diversity without being divisive in terms of the design. So sanmai is definitely a cool type of blade steel. A lot of different ones, some with armor core, some with 3V, some with XHP, some with 1095, some with AUBL. I mean, there's every type of sanmai under the sun. Some perform much better than others, and to be honest, I'm not sure what type of sanmai this is, but it's a really nice piece with a really nice etch. So the materials on this knife, we have some zirconium bolsters done in a satin finish. We've got the blackwood carbon fiber. We've got this big zirconium kind of fin back spacer. Damascus pocket clip, beautifully done. You guys can see pretty close to the knife, sits rather flat. And then titanium liners, all done in a rich blue that matches the pocket clip. And the blue is very consistent, very clean. He does a very good job of anodizing. So, yeah. Now, spec-wise, I know the blade is 3.5 inches. Let's see what the handle is on this one. About 4.5 there, so 3.5, 4.5, about 8 overall. I want to say it weighs around 7 ounces. Let's take a look. Yeah, 7 ounces. So, large knife, heavy knife. Obviously zirconium adds a ton of weight, but it's a cool material, and you guys can see that flipping action, right? Let's check this out. Great sound, great feel. The flipper tab sits pretty prominent, but it works very well. You get a really nice push button out of it, or you can light switch it too. So let's take a look at it in some detail here. Pretty nice mating here on the zirconium and carbon fiber. Not perfect, but pretty dang close. Hell of a lot better than anything that I would do. But nice blend of materials. Interesting design. Ergonomically, it actually works very well. You have a very large kind of forward guard here, and again that Damascus pocket clip sits very flush, no sharp edges, so it's a comfy knife. Very large recurve blade, kind of an interesting drop point. It's an interesting design, possibly not everyone's cup of tea, but it's executed so well by Les that even if you don't like the design, it's still a cool knife to have in your collection or to check out. But anyways, let's ramble for a bit. So I think Les is a perfect example of knife makers who may not be like the hottest maker at the time, but they put out very good quality work. And again, if you don't love this design, he does lots of different designs with different designers. So again, there was some other designs from Faisal Yamin, some other designs from Tashi Barucha. I think there's one called the Streamline with Tashi right now that is beautiful, love the design, very, very cool knife, but his execution is just so good. So let's take a look at it up close if we can. Now the one thing on this knife that I think could be done better is to have masked off or polished the detent track, so you can hear it a little bit. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But the detent track wasn't polished on this one, or wasn't masked, and so what you get is you get kind of a slightly bumpy feel. It might affect the close, but obviously the open is unaffected in the slightest. And then look at the spine there with that really cool piece of Sanmai, get that wave line through. So, man, I love that steel. Performance-wise, I think people have debated whether or not it's actually performs better, but to me, I don't really think it does. It all depends on what the core is, you know, and if this one is, let's say, 3V or XHP, which I'm not sure. Obviously a very high performance core steel. So yeah, you have a what is this, Peter Carey style pivot here. I believe this is also done in zirconium. But anyways, so as I was saying, Les does very, very good execution. His work is definitely worth checking out, and you can typically find his knives for very reasonable prices on the secondary market. You know, the hotter the maker that it is at the time, the harder you have to work to acquire his pieces, the more you're going to pay on secondary market, the faster the prices are going to drop when they're no longer popular. You know, everyone wants to chase, like, who's the hottest, what's, you know, what's new, what's in. There's a lot of clicky things that happen in custom knives, you know. There might be a maker, they're really popular, they only sell to a certain group of friends, and you've got to bro it up with a whole bunch of people to get it and not pay an astronomical secondary, or you can go to the dealers and pay an astronomical secondary price, or you can just wait, right? You can be patient, you can look for other, you know, other makers like Les here, and pick up really nice pieces without having to pay an arm and a leg over what the table price was to get it. And if there's that maker and you truly like their work and you're not just chasing what's popular, eventually their prices are going to come down. Now, granted, there are some makers who have been very popular for a very, very long time, and their prices may not ever come down, or it may take forever. Or perhaps the build you like, or the model that you like from that maker, becomes less popular over time and the prices decrease. One custom maker, Yuna, I can't think of his first name, hopefully you guys know who I'm talking about. His waitlist is like 6 or 7 years, or maybe 8. But when I've seen his pieces come up recently, the prices have actually dropped significantly. So, you know, it may have taken 6 or 7 years for that to happen, but it typically happens eventually. So, kind of my ramble with this video is, you don't have to go and chase the most exciting or the most popular thing to get some truly incredible custom built knives that you will absolutely love. And for me, if I get it at table price, or hell even below, like if I get a good deal on it and it's a truly incredible knife, I love it even more, because I don't feel bad for what I had to pay to acquire it. So, you know, the pieces where I've spent, well, I won't go into the details, but the pieces where I've spent a ton of money are the pieces that I just kind of sit there and stare at, and eventually I just get rid of, because it makes me nervous to have that much tied up in one knife. So anyways, that's kind of my ramble for tonight. Let's see if there's any more specs that I can do on this particular one. Let's take a look at the thickness here. 0.65 or so. So again, you know, it's a larger, bigger, heavier knife. Carries very well in the pocket with that nice clip. Doesn't sit terribly deep. I don't really know if that's important to everyone. I really don't care anymore. You know, thankfully all of my coworkers know that I'm a knife guy, and I don't really have to hide anything. So, yeah. What else? What else? Anyways, love Les's work. If you have it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't tried it yet, look for a deal on secondary and pick one up. And I don't know if I already mentioned, but I've actually had this one for so long that my buddy Mike is actually selling it. And I never tell you guys to go buy anything, and I'm not going to start doing that now. But if you were interested in this piece, you can hit up Mike at his Instagram and you know, get some more details on it. But man, it's probably been here for like 8 weeks, maybe longer, I want to say. So I did send him a knife to play with, so I don't feel like the worst person in the world, but kind of getting close when I've had it for this long. Check out that the layers of the San Meyer. You know, it's only 3, but man, it's just so cool. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed kind of this ramble video. Definitely less prepared. If so, let me know if you prefer me to stick to kind of the more specific format, not quite scripted, but more scripted than this. You know, let me know that too. So you can follow me on Instagram for more daily content. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I definitely appreciate you guys giving me a thumbs up, watching the videos, commenting, and it's what keeps me doing videos. If no one watched it, what's the point in doing it? So yeah, awesome piece, the Claymore from Faisal Yamin and Les Voorhies. See you guys in the next video.